On this week's episode of the Program Guys podcast, Trevor subs in for Pat this week. NFL overtime changes its rules just for the playoffs, though. OU has a big recruiting weekend. Dillon Gabriel speaks to the media for the first time in Norman, and we circle the wagons. We find out the loser of our March Madness bracket challenge and update the leader of our listeners, as well as talk about our next competition, a draft for the Masters. Ryan tells us to watch Severance on Apple Plus, and we give our PGP MVPs of the week. All right, let's get started.
3, 2, 1, go!
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
What's up, and welcome into episode number 12 of the Program Guys podcast. I am Mason Prince, joined with you not as always, but a new addition this time. Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, and everybody put it together. It's Trevor Morse, producer Trevor Morse, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
There he is. We're so excited.
Today is Thursday, March 31st. It is a great day to be us. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. Subscribe to our YouTube, Program Guys Podcast. Follow on Twitter at Program Guys. On Instagram as well, Program Guys. All those with a Z. Trevor's pointing in the corner. That's why he's a producer.
He
knows where all the graphics are.
We're over here just like lollygagging around.
Yeah, no kidding. How's everybody doing? Matt, welcome back from the West Coast. Trevor's on the West Coast, for those of you who don't know. Matt, how you doing?
It was great. Got to see Pat, so that was always good to see a program guy. Also got to see Trevor as well. So I got to see two guys in 1 week.
I didn't know if you guys actually did see each other.
We did.
That's good.
Yeah. We got together, got to meet his wife. It was a incredible time.
Megan.
Also,
Shout
shout out going to California. I picked up some new threads, AKA I want to thank Mark Hall for this lovely polo that I'm wearing tonight. So thank you, Mark Hall.
Oh man, I knew you were bringing that back too.
That's Mark's shirt?
Wait,
this
what?
is Mark's shirt. He left it in California.
I literally was ragging on Dan earlier.
Ragging on your own shirt.
And that is my shirt.
It is.
Unbelievable.
Sponsored by Mark Hall.
You are clever and sneaky.
You are such a guy.
Little squirrel.
You are such a squirmy little guy.
I also want to, just
when can I get
know,
that shirt?
Don't know.
In due time.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Patrick is not here.
Yeah, Patrick is not here.
Patrick is killing it on his new job game and was flown to San Francisco and is just doing,
San Francisco adjacent.
Shit.
San Francisco
adjacent. San Jose.
Yeah.
It's tangential.
Which, shout out to him. He's right next to the Niner Stadium.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Of course, that's the first thing he texts us. Did you guys know this wasn't in San Francisco?
It's amazing. Yeah, that guy knows football.
Pat, most everybody does know it's not in San Francisco.
That guy knows football more than anyone I've ever met.
I feel like there's not a lot of stadiums that are actually in the proper city anymore. It's always like Arlington, Foxborough. I mean, even New Jersey for the Jets and the Giants. I mean, it's just
Minnesota's is directly in downtown Minneapolis.
Yes, that stadium is really cool, by the way.
I think the Mercedes-Benz Dome is in Atlanta.
You're correct.
The Superdome is in New Orleans.
They tore down.
Superdome's in a great spot.
Yeah, the Georgia Dome was torn down and built as a parking lot for Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So that's downtown.
It's a cool stadium.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a cool stadium. I'm not sure that Atlanta needed a new stadium yet.
My Titans are going to get a new stadium here pretty soon, or at least a renovated version. Yeah.
They dome it? Getting a dome?
No, it's not going to be a dome. The humidity is still going to be a problem there. But
Tannehill can't get dome.
No.
That's tough.
Tannehill, man. Sucks. No dome for Tannehill.
No dome.
Speaking of NFL stadiums, let's pivot to NFL teams. This is our first topic of discussion today. There was the coaches meeting. What is it called? The owners meeting, coaches meeting?
It's an owners meeting, but the coaches are all there too.
But the coaches they were in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Think so.
Think they're in Florida.
I think it is.
So all the coaches were there, got to hear from all the coaches, but also got to hear from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. And Roger Goodell had something to say about something that Ryan has been a big proponent of And that is a
Huge.
rule change for the NFL overtime rules. But pause, it's not for the regular season. It's only for the postseason. So in the regular season, you can still end in a tie, all that stuff. But in the postseason, each team is going to get the ball guaranteed at least one time. Ryan, I'm going to allow you to take your victory lap before I eviscerate your argument. Go ahead.
Yep.
Thank you. I mean, I've just, I've been a big proponent of this. Me and Mark talked about this over text or Twitter or whatever form of communication we used this week. That this isn't exactly what we wanted. Like, we wanted all the games, right? We wanted the regular season to do this too. But I consider this a small victory on the path to a larger war. We gotta get there. We gotta get all the games going. But I'll take postseason.
Mark, anything to add?
Yeah, real fast. I think this is ridiculously dumb to be like, what we'll use as our petri dish is the most important games in football. You know what? We need everyone to get a chance in the postseason, but not in the regular season is such a weird backwards why it follows no logic. It's not that I hate the rule change itself. It's that the rule change and the way they're going about it indicates just a massive illogical approach to the entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. So based off of that, I mean, the Petri dish kind of thing, that's not the case, because you already see every other league and every other sport have a better overtime system. You're not really trying anything new, like, per se. It's just that you're making it more valuable for the games that are actually more important.
You're absolutely making it new for the entirety of football.
Except
so,
they all
okay,
played
so
in
here's
college.
the thing. Okay, so what do you do? So what do you do when you get the coin toss now?
You actually play the game.
Yeah, no, but what do you do? What's the decision? You defer?
Yeah. That's what you do in college.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we'll see.
Gan, anything?
I mean, it's definitely huge, right? I mean, I think we saw the statistic that during this last season or whatever the statistic was, that the first person that won the coin toss won like 90% of the games, right? So it's obviously a huge deal now that the overtime rule has changed. So you can't just win off who scores first on a touchdown or whatever it is. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. I agree with Mark. It seems a little bit backwards. Why wouldn't they just try it in the regular season first to see if it actually pans out the way they want it to, instead of doing it in the playoffs? Or at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, what's this half? Look, Breaking Bad fans will understand the reference here. No half measures. Okay.
That's right.
We're here to get things done. And this doesn't get something done. We're going to be revisiting this again next offseason.
Right.
So here's my multitude of problems. Number one, again, we are treating the people who wanted change only cited the Bills and the Chiefs as the reason for the change. They didn't cite any of the games during the regular season. They don't cite Jacksonville against Tennessee. They don't cite any of those they don't cite Lions against Bears. They don't do any of that crap. They see the biggest games with the most eyeballs, and that's their knee-jerk reaction to why we need change. But they don't, because do what?
Straw man.
Whatever. So you go past that point. So now my argument was get a stop on defense. So now what do you have to do to win the game? Get a stop on defense still.
That is, but
still you do.
Okay, so here's the thing about that.
I get the ball,
getting a stop on defense is literally the point of the game. You could say that about anything.
If I go down my team and I go score, and then you get the ball and I stop you, ball game over, that's fair. But if I score and you can't stop me, that's not fair. Insanity.
Yes. Because there's two sides to this football game. There's an offense and a defense, and you have to give the other team a chance.
They have a chance. Stop them.
The offense doesn't have a chance.
So now the new rules are: you score, great. They get the ball. You score, great. Now you have to get a stop. So literally all we did was move it down. You're giving the other team a chance to actually score.
Yeah.
Like you don't even give them.
Are we going to trade again? Are we gonna trade? So
No,
we're not.
I think
so. You have to
look.
get a
The
stop
only
to win.
argument that I have ever had is that both teams should have possession of the ball in overtime.
Wait, so we can
that's
still end in a tie? No, I mean we can't because it's
Well,
overtime
no.
playoffs.
No,
It'll
but you-
go to
Okay, so
sudden
we
death
do
after
keep,
that.
it goes to
second
sudden death after that.
Mhm.
Okay, so the Mason's right.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe you don't.
Wow,
defer
that
it
felt
because you
so
take
good.
the first.
No.
one.
Well,
he's
okay, so
not
that's
right.
that's my point. Is kind of what Trevor's saying is we don't know. He goes, maybe you do, maybe you don't defer. We don't know what people are going to do. I saw speculation coming out of the owners' meetings that the team to get the ball first is going to go for 2 every time because they don't want to be put in a position of going for 1 and then the other team going for 2 and you don't get the ball.
That's
This is a massive change. A massive change.
You have the
NFL
exact same thing
playoff
within NCAA
rules.
though.
Sick.
Well,
this is
no.
a massive change. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
because he keeps on
you
going
do.
back and forth. College, he goes back and forth.
College, you can do that. You can go score a
you
touchdown,
can.
and then
Yeah,
the
you
other
can.
ball will get,
Yeah.
the person will get the ball, and
Cool.
they
You
can
know
go for 2.
you know who hasn't coached in college in 50 years is Bill Belichick. So this is a massive change. To
I'm
the
not saying
NFL
it's not a massive
playoff
change.
over like postseason rule structure, and I don't know. Throwing it in the postseason is ridiculous.
I want to throw
I'm
this
sorry,
out there.
Mason. We cut you off. I think at some point.
I want
It's
to throw this
okay.
out there real quick because, like, speaking of 2-point conversions, my Titans, which I disagree with this movement, they proposed a rule where the first possession team has the opportunity to secure the win with a 2-point conversion after a touchdown. So basically, if there wasn't a 2-point conversion, then it would go back and the other team would get a chance to score. What do you guys think of that?
I don't like that.
No.
I just don't
No.
like it because I mean my entire argument is that each team should have possession. Other than that, I don't really care.
Each team have possession, and then once both teams score, we go back to the original rules. That's insane.
Sure.
That's literally insane to me. Why
So
not just
Ryan-
go with the original rules? Do
No,
you see-
because-
Matt, do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I do.
Look, I
For sure.
understand what you're saying, but it's literally like you like take the Chiefs and the Bills. Those defenses, neither of them were stopping them. Okay, neither of them were. So giving the Chiefs the ball first, that was game over, right? Giving the Chiefs the ball and then they score, Bills have a chance, go down and score. Then you see what happens, right? At least you gave them the opportunity and you got Josh Allen the ball. That's what matters. We don't know what would have happened after that. We have no idea, but you have to give them that chance.
So Ryan, I want to interrogate this just a little because you won it in the regular season too, right?
Yes, I did.
Because I do. What is your, like, let's say you get to the end of the 10-minute period and the teams are still tied. Are you
Mhm.
giving them a tie?
In
Throwing
the
a tie on
regular
record?
season,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Because to me, the best way to do it is just
I don't like ties.
like a 10-minute period. And if you're still tied at the end of a 10-minute period, then you play another 10-minute period. But the way that we convolute ourselves around these rules is silly.
They're not
Yeah.
going to do. I get what you're saying, Mark, and I would love to see that, but because of player safety protocols and stuff, they're not going to.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. And that's also part of the reason we're not getting regular season version
You're
of
right.
this.
You're
It's
right.
player protocol and TV times, actually.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do a shootout between 2-point conversions like the way college is doing now after like I think third overtime now? Like it's you
It gets like-
you reduce it down to like a single play.
Those
You
are
also
fun.
neutralize
They're-
the teams that aren't built for that are
they're
built
psychotic.
for,
Yeah.
you know, other big
Yeah,
like
I
the
like-
Chiefs might not have been able to convert on something like that as well as your Titans would have, right? You're inherently giving those teams an advantage.
This is the last thing, and then we can move on. The thing that I like about NFL overtime is that it is a game-like atmosphere. It is like you kick off, you have a drive, you do all that. And with college, it just feels hokey sometimes. Yeah, it's fun. And that's why we love college football. But it's at some point, you're just like, all right, how many drives start on the 25-yard line and how many defenses can get a stop and not allow any points from a 25-yard line? At some point, it's a little hokey.
It's built to get to like the third overtime.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's why they added the 2-point conversion thing, because they were like, oh yeah, well, this has got to end at some point. So
Don't need 20 overtimes.
yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Let us know what you think. Tweet us at Program Guys. also commented on Instagram. I got to get better at Instagram, guys. I'm really sorry. Like, I just don't like it. And cutting videos to post to Instagram is really annoying. So I got to get better at that. You're doing
great.
This is me promising the listeners and you guys, I'm going to be better. Okay. I'll be better. Everyone comment Mason be better. And I'll be better. Okay.
Hashtag be better.
We're in your corner, baby.
Hashtag be better. You know who's getting better? The OU football team.
Segues
are
there
fire,
it is.
by the way.
He's back, baby. He's back.
We're back. All right. OU had a very good weekend. They put the pads on, had recruits in town. Really, really good weekend for the Oklahoma football program led by Brent Venables. Let's go ahead and get started with this. Parker Thune of 24/7. Is it 247? I don't even know.
24/7.
Yeah.
24/7, whatever. Who cares? There's three numbers in there. There's a 2, a 4, and a 7. Okay. He gave crystal ball predictions for recruits to go to OU. And those crystal ball predictions, if you don't know, are pretty much the writers projecting that these kids are going to commit to this or end up at this certain school. And they give you like a percentage of how sure the writer is, confidence level. There's stuff that goes into it. But to have 5 of them from one weekend and 5 really good recruits is massive. Going down the line, there's a 2023 4-star running back, Trey Wisner, 2023 3-star linebacker / athlete. I'm going to butcher this. Samuel Omosigo, I guess.
I think that's good.
Sounds all right.
That's pretty good.
I can't imagine I'd have done better.
This one's going to be worse. This one's going to be worse. 2023 4-star edge Adepoju Adebawar.
Not bad.
Don't
I'd have done like Adebayor, but I'm just guessing, you know?
Yeah,
who knows?
2024 5-star defensive lineman T.A. Cunningham. 2024 5-star running back Stacey Gage. Guys, what a weekend for Brent Venables,
we love
Todd Bates, Cale Gundy, just that entire staff doing a fantastic job. What are your takeaways when you see that list of guys?
DeMarco's doing work. I mean, DeMarco Sina-Handley's killing it right now. Oh my gosh. I guess the NFL status is really helping out. My gosh, I can't talk today.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting to see the running backs on that list and DeMarco being one guy who Lincoln Riley wanted to bring with him, and he stays. And this is the kind of players he brings in with a new staff. And you get to see why, Lincoln really didn't want to lose DeMarco. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, I was just going to agree with Trevor. I think DeMarco's definitely earning his paycheck. So hopefully these end up they're coming our way. That's what we hope for, right? Because that's probably the one area right now that we're kind of up in the air is the running back depth chart for at least this year. So if we can get some strength, at least coming in the next couple of years, especially with hopefully the O-line continuing to improve, then hopefully he's earning his paycheck that way. So,
yeah. Anybody else?
It's really good to see the defensive guys, but we're almost starting to expect to see some defensive guys because it seems like every weekend there's a 4 or 5-star visiting campus and having a great time. And I'm a little, it's interesting, right? Because we see these crystal balls and that's great, but because I think of Coach Venables' policy on commitments, we're not going to see commitments for a while.
No.
So it's something where you got to be patient,
especially those 2024 guys.
Yeah, why would they?
Yeah,
why would they?
Which sucks because they're the 5-stars. But
it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So that's my main thought. Is man, it'd be cool if if they were 2022 guys, honestly.
Yeah,
I know. I think for me, it's not even just about like seeing like these 5 names is awesome, but also seeing like the tweets from like the current players that are just like, man, like this team, like I love this team. Like they're just like an outpouring of like support. And I know like, OU football keeps like posting all these like hype videos of Venables and, they're doing their job on them doing that. But every single video works on me. Every single one, every single picture works on me. Like today I saw the one of him doing the push-ups with the guys. And I'm like, this man. Like, we're just so lucky.
Oh yeah.
Lincoln's
just
not
so
doing
lucky.
that. Lincoln's
No.
not doing that with the Trojans. It's not happening.
And I think something I like what you said, Ryan, because it is the OU football media's job to get out the videos, to get the fan base to rally around them and stuff. But again, this isn't an act. Like, he doesn't turn it on for the cameras. Like, this is who he is. It's been who he is for 20 years. We know it is because we know what he was like when he was at Oklahoma the first time. We saw what he was like at Clemson, and we know what he's like now because he tells us, his players tell us, and his staff tells us. So that's what makes me feel best about it, is because some guys, you know, the Lincoln Riley era was so produced, so like glitz and glamour. So you could tell the shots were picked and chosen. These, I feel like everything's so genuine. Even you look at when the media is allowed in practice, look at Jeff Lebby, look how involved he is and fired up he is to coach these guys. Defensive coordinator Ted Roof, you know, I gave the dude crap. I thought he was a dinosaur and he looked fired up. You know what I mean?
There.
Yeah. It's
infectious, right?
Yeah.
It's infectious from everybody. And I mean, you know, I think a big, like you mentioned, media going to practices, media are allowed at practices again. I mean, like that wasn't happening.
Yeah. And I don't think fans are ready for that access that we're going to get. Like, they're not going to let us see anything that they don't want us to see, but we're also going to get to see video of guys in practice, who's getting reps at what time, who's getting reps with who. That's going to be important when the season rolls around and in the summer when we're deciding who's going to be playing where, who's starting in front of who. And that's something that we're going to be ready for.
Somebody did an OU Instagram takeover today, right? OU football Instagram takeover. Yeah. Like a player, right? I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but like that's something that did not happen. Like, it felt so like manicured in the past that this just feels a little bit more real.
Agreed.
I mean, I feel like it's almost us saying we're better than you and we know it. And we're not scared to like share what we have going on behind the scenes because we're just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. We're kind of like, you know, talking our shit a little bit, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
I felt like we were just kind of like hiding behind something the past few years. And, you know, we were successful and everyone knew that, but it just feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
There's a Danny Stutzman quote from over the last couple of days where he says something like, you know, most people have a switch. I have a switch where like I'm fun and funny off the field and, you know, then I'll try to kill you on the field or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I don't think Coach Venables has that switch. He's 120% all the time. And it's great to have someone leading you like that, because when you have someone like that, everyone falls in line. I think that's, you know, we say it every week, man. Brent is just genuine about this. He's real about it. The commitment's real. He's going to put in more work than anyone else will because he wants to be great and he wants the program to be great. And we are so freaking lucky we have this guy because, you know, we just know that everything's rowing in the right direction. You can just feel it.
Yeah. And the team looks good during practice. The team that's on the field now, one of those guys that looks really good, Dillon Gabriel, is going to be the starting quarterback. He spoke to the media for the first time. We heard him in an OU garb, whatever you want to call it, on campus. He spoke, and it was really cool to hear him talk. I took some takeaways from that. He's a very well-spoken kid. You got to give him credit where it's due. You can tell he's been in the spotlight for a while. He knows how to handle himself. He knows how to answer a question, and he's not afraid to answer a question honestly. I like that. He likes the way that the offense has picked up Levy's system through 5 practices. Obviously, Gabriel's going to be more comfortable in that system, but he said he likes the way the offensive line and the receivers are responding to, and the running backs for that matter, learning the system. And the up tempo that Levy's known for, it's going to be a lot of fun by the sounds of it. Gabriel's looking forward to quote unquote pushing it. He says push it like 5 times during his press conference, and it makes me happy. For those of you who don't know, Patrick texts us in our group text like every morning, push it. Like that's Patrick's phrase. So hearing Gabriel say push it like 3 times just made me smile. So
he hits us with that at like the 5 a.m. Pacific time,
Dude, the guy does push it. He pushes it like early. He's up.
Yeah.
He's up. How did anybody listen to Gabriel's press conference? I think it was today. Or maybe yesterday. I'm not really sure.
I haven't gotten the chance yet, but the kid is throwing spirals. That's we love to see it. We love to see those spirals.
Matt, you say no spirals?
Nah, I'm just making fun of Patrick when he was texting us saying that he threw like an out swinger and it's just like one clip out of probably 1,000 throws.
Yeah, I know.
I will say the left-handed trips me up every time.
Dude, yeah.
I'm like, whoa, like it looks odd, but hey, bring us back to that championship.
You can't watch Tua.
I can't watch Tua.
It takes a second to get used to, for sure. It definitely does.
Did y'all see the Cale Gundy quote?
No. What I've been hearing about it though, and I haven't.
So I'm gonna pull up the exact quote, but it's very complimentary of Jeff Lebby and his system, and not necessarily like shots at Lincoln. But someone then follows up on it and he has to like explain himself. And that's pretty great. He says, it's a very exciting system. We have a very impressive offensive coordinator. Lebby is as well-rounded as any offensive mind I've been around ever in college football. He's a guy that played college offensive line. He learned it. That's to me always key. It's where you get the bright minds. The ones that really truly learn the offensive line, the run game, and the pass game. And he goes on at some point later, or someone asks him later, to explain the differences. And he zeroes in on the run game again. And it's funny because I think that, OU's had successful running backs over the last however many years. Very successful. But you also see the games where, man, we threw 42 passes. Why did we do that? Why are we doing that? And hopefully we won't see that anymore. It's going to be really exciting to see that up-tempo offense with a suffocating Brent Venables defense.
And I'm super excited about the fact that we seem like we're focusing on the line more than anything. Like, our defensive line and our offensive line.
I guarantee,
that is going to make us win games.
I guarantee
that is what the SEC does.
I guarantee you Bill Beanbo is extremely happy about the new system and that he's not having to teach his offensive line weird stuff that they will never do in the pros, like ever. From everything I hear from listening to Gabe Eichert, the way that offensive line was run for the past 5 years is just weird, man. It's just not normal. So hopefully they're getting back to the nastiness that we saw with those guys in the past at the end of the Bob Stoops era. That'd be a lot of fun.
Williams.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah. So is that what the issue was last year? Is just the confusion of too complicated of a system, like for offensive linemen?
Yeah,
the issue last year was a coach with a foot out the door.
There's a lot of issues last year.
Guy with the foot out the door. Yeah.
God.
So there's a lot of stuff that you can get into with the offensive line play. I'm not an offensive lineman, so I'm not even going to start to understand. I just know people who are in the know that it was an issue last year.
Yeah. I know sorry to interrupt. I know we're about to move on from OU football, and I want to say just like one thing.
Yes.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much. I'm trying
we gotta
very because it takes time to change a culture. It takes time to change a team.
No, it doesn't.
Mark, I love the optimism.
It hasn't. Look at the buy-in. Everyone that's
I know.
I think
if we lose a game, next year and like everyone flips and everyone's so pissed, I think we got to calm down, take a breather. I'm thinking 8 months ahead right now, but I know how this fan base can get and how it can flip on a switch very quickly.
I'm going to be patient, but expect to compete for a conference title at least.
I agree.
That's where
Yeah.
my expectations lie, and that's what I'm going to expect out of this team. Just because I know what else is in the conference. I'm sure Baylor will be another contender as well, but Oklahoma State graduated literally 15, 26-year-olds. So I don't know what they have left. There's just a lot of question marks around the Big 12. So why can't OU, the steady program that it's been for the past 20 years, be the team to rise above the rest? And who the hell knows what's going on with Texas? You never know. I did see.
It's OU, Baylor, Texas.
My dad sent me something about how OU is on upset alert from Texas. It was like a Bleacher Report, some sort of article.
Okay, it's Bleacher Report. That right there is the first issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Did I have the 3 R's that Patrick liked?
Dude, no.
Yeah, was it a real Bleacher Report?
No. I think it was. I'll look. But while we do that, it was a massive weekend for OU softball, and I think it's about time that we circle the wagons. Isn't it time? Isn't it time, Matthew? Hugh?
It's always time.
That's right,
It's
baby.
always time.
Let's circle those
Did you see the
wagons.
eyes
my
right there?
shirt.
Guys, please get on YouTube and look at Gan's eyes while he says that. 'Cause
Well,
it's
come on.
seductive, Gan.
Matt,
So
if you-
OU softball.
Matt, if you don't mention OU baseball, I'm gonna be mad at you.
Yeah,
So we're clear.
you know what? I'm going to switch it up this week. I always start with softball, so
Mm.
I am going to hit on some other sports and then come back to softball because who doesn't like to end on just a very, very sweet note? Also, shout out to all the people listening. If you're not watching the YouTube channel, my favorite thing right now is watching Mark hold his mic. He puts it away off screen, then he brings it back. So you know when he's about to say something or disagrees because he puts the mic right up to his mouth. So you can definitely tell when Mark's about to talk. So shout out to him.
Sounds okay. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's
Matt,
just
I
funny.
think
And you made him
It's more-
self-conscious.
a
No, it's
nicer
more
way.
just you just like holding your mic just away. It kills me. So
You want to do that action again, Gan, for all the YouTube?
Shout out to Mark. Right here.
Oh my God.
Well, let's get ready for the circle, the wagons. Let's start off with some OU men's baseball. Let me tell you, there's a common denominator between a lot of these programs I'm going to talk about on this segment. I want to see if you guys can pick it out. So I'll save that to the end and circle back to it. But OU's men's
They play
baseball.
for OU.
Yeah. Well, that's one of them. Yeah. OU men's baseball just played a 3-game series against Baylor, won 2 out of 3. So I would consider that a good win. And then last night ended up beating their home state rivals, OSU, 8-7 on a walk-off walk. So bases were loaded. Pitcher threw the last guy a walk, ended up winning 8-7. So I know I was hating a little bit on OU men's baseball a little bit earlier this year. They were losing to some pretty good SEC schools. Which
To be
is
fair, you weren't the
what they're
only
gonna
one. Let's give you credit. You weren't the
Right.
only one.
Right. But, they are turning around, get some big games. They're going to play OSU, I think, again. They actually play the other Orange school and the Red Rivalry Shootout. They have a 3-game series against Texas, which is actually going to be played in Globe Life Field in Arlington. My Dallas boys, are we going to have boots on the ground this weekend?
Boots on the ground.
Do we need
Not for me, but I hope that you guys can make it.
What you got, Ryan? That's too important.
I'm going to be in
Important
Broken Bow, Oklahoma. So
Hey,
Interesting.
I like Broken Bow.
It's romantic.
Well,
That's where we had
Hopefully-
Trevor's bachelor party.
Ryan, are you proposing?
Ryan,
oh, gosh.
breaking news.
Wow.
Let's not get
Go
into
ahead,
that.
guys. Go
Supposed to
ahead.
know.
Go ahead.
No, all
Spoil
good. We love it. So we'll have to shout out to our favorite listeners, Ryan Heil and Colin Nuremberg, to see maybe if they want to go to the game this weekend. Mark, maybe I don't know what you're doing this weekend. I don't think you have anything going on. I don't know. You let me know.
In fact, Cassie works Saturday. Let's get after it at this game. Let's
Wow.
put the boots on the ground, baby.
Ryan
Boots on the
Heil,
ground.
text me.
There
Ryan
we go.
Heil, text me after this game or after you hear this. Let's go to the game this weekend. All right,
Let's
my
get
guy?
after it.
Let's get after it. So moving on there, OU's men's golf.
Hey, if
still
you're going to
number
be at
one.
the game this
Yep.
weekend, come hit the program guys up.
Yep.
We would
That's
love
right.
to meet some listeners.
Yep.
That's right.
they should do a
I'll
meet
be-
and greet.
I'll be wearing this polo. So
We'll be around.
Meet and greet by like the Chick-fil-A stand or something.
yeah.
We'll figure it
go.
out.
We'll post on Twitter.
We'll broadcast.
We'll post on Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
post on Twitter.
Broadcast
For
where the
sure.
podcast is.
Exactly.
Boots on the ground.
Love it. Men's golf still number one. They play in a Calais Cup in Naples, Florida this weekend. Still have 2 golfers in the top 15, one at number 4 and one at 14. So still looking good for OU men's golf. They got a couple more invitationals before the Big 12 championship here in about a month. OU's men's gym plays in a championship meet in California this weekend. They're going to play compete on the mat against Air Force, California, and Stanford. And then they have the NCAA championships in Norman in about a month as well, April 15th, that weekend. So schedule that in. Same thing for OU women's gym, but they have to start the Norman regional. So it works a little bit differently in gymnastics. I had to look up the different format. Apparently it has changed recently in the last couple of years. So they have like a couple different regionals. It plays out over a couple of days. If you ended up winning between your teams, then you get to go to the big championship, which is going to be held in Fort Worth. So women's gym starts tomorrow. They're going to be competing against Arizona State, Arkansas, West Virginia, and Arizona in their first group tomorrow. If they ended up beating them out, then they'll compete again on Saturday to see if they get to the big championship later on next month. Now, fun stat that I do want to give, since 2007, when KJ Kindler took over the coaching job for OU Women's Gym, they are 126-4 when they compete in the Low Noble gym, which is an incredibly
gang.
I mean, when I read it, I was just astonished. It's incredible that they've won for that long, competed at a high level. I thought that was an incredible stat. So again, the regionals in Norman, they're number one. They should win it. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. Women's tennis, who we've been harping on all through the podcast, currently ranked number 3. They beat Baylor, who is ranked number 22, 6 matches to 1. And
Suck
then they just recently beat Texas.
I don't know why this always gets brought up.
Yeah, we just have to associate with you.
Why.
Yeah.
Hey, who here owns a Baylor shirt?
Ooh.
Raise your hand if you own a Baylor shirt.
Ryan, raise your hand.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah,
Come
there
on.
you go.
Hey,
you.
if you're listening to the podcast, Ryan raised his hand.
Yeah.
That's why. Suck it, Ryan.
Go ahead, Joe.
You're not going to say anything?
Go again.
No, you're
I
good.
have nothing to say.
You're good. So beat Baylor 6 matches to 1, and then just beat Texas, who is number 6 in the nation. Beat them 4 matches to 3. So looking really good for the OU women's tennis, especially as they continue on doing some Big 12 play, but obviously beating some ranked opponents. Now, got to get to my favorite sport here. I mean, come on. OU women's softball continuing to crush it.
Crush.
So OU women's softball up to this point, 30-0, 25 wins via run rule, over 280 runs scored, only 26 total runs allowed, over 75 home runs hit, 16 shutouts, currently on a 32-game win streak. Absolutely incredible. And I was just looking at some stats compared from this year and last year off all the offensive stats that you can imagine. And I know baseball's got like a million of them. Currently, they're on pace to break a lot of those records from last year, which is just astonishing. Home run, slugging percentage, bases scored. I mean, you name it, whatever category they can measure, they're on pace to break it.
So
it is
Dan,
absolutely incredible.
I saw a tweet about this. Do we think that this is the best OU team ever? Like not even just softball.
Best college
like,
softball team. Oh,
like any OU team.
It's
like-
got to be up there. I mean,
like-
there have been some great teams, but I mean, last year's team was probably one of the best teams that we've seen, and they're doing even more, which I think
know.
who would have even thought? It's just unfathomable what they did last year compared to actually now what they're on pace to do this year. It is
that's a new
amazing.
segment for next week, right there, Ryan.
Okay.
The best
That's
teams of OU teams of all time.
I mean, I know there's like incredible like football teams that we've had in the past and stuff, but what they're
But
doing,
the
what this team
records.
is doing is absolutely mind blowing.
So they just ended a series against Baylor, 3 games, won all 3. Now, the third game was a very close one, but we ended up having a walk-off home run in the bottom of, I think they went to extra innings.
I think it was the 8th.
Yeah, something like that, maybe the 8th or 9th.
It was like the last out, right?
Right. Last out, Tiara Jennings hits it straight over the wall, ends up being 3-1 to put them Bears down after already getting beaten down the 2 previous days. So shout out to the OU softball team for beating Baylor. Then played, I think 2 nights ago, maybe last night, they beat Wichita State 10-1 to improve to 30-0. 2-game series against UAB, and then they play Tulsa before they do some more Big 12 action. And one of the most impressive things, I just had to look this up. I know we talk a lot about Allo, and we talk a lot about the offensive staff or stats and all of that. Again, super incredible. But we got to talk about Jordy Ball, which was kind of the unknown coming into this year, the pitching staff. What is that going to look like, right? So I just want to read off some stats for Jordy Ball up to this point. So she's pitched over 74 innings in the 30 games. She's allowed only 32 hits, 12 runs scored, which 6 of those came in the Tennessee game, which has probably been the best, closest game that OU softball has played. So just think about that. 6 just in that game. So only 6 other runs scored in 29 other games this year that she's played in. Incredible. And she's played in the majority of the games. She might not do the entire game, but she might pitch 1 or 2 or maybe 3 innings. But they also run rule a lot of people, so don't necessarily have to play a full game.
True freshman, right?
True freshman, yep. She was a high school Gatorade Player of the Year, and she is proving that she is worth it because she is doing absolutely incredible. So, again, only 12 runs scored against her, and she has 127 strikeouts. She also had her season high this year was 16 in one game, also a game against Tennessee. So, just some incredible individual stats. Now, the other 2 pitchers, Nicole May and the transfer Hope, have done well as well. But Jordy Ball, absolutely crushing opponents. I don't know if you guys have seen her pitching on Twitter and some of those replays, but they're nasty. They are
she's
nasty.
Filthy.
She's absolutely filthy. So that's my Wagans update for the week. Now, I do want to see, can anyone name a pretty common denominator between all the teams or the majority of the teams this week?
They all beat Baylor.
They all beat Baylor. Sick 'em Bears, baby. Put them down.
That's right, baby.
I was waiting for someone to make a comment on that.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm glad you pointed it out.
Good job, Matt. Good job, Matt. Another great week to circle the wagons. No one circles the wagons like Hugh. All right, here we go. Moving on. We're going to go quick here. March Madness ends this weekend, this week, I guess I should say. Games on Saturday and then on Monday. We're going to move quick here, guys. Kansas against Villanova. Kansas, a 4.5-point favorite. Duke versus North Carolina. Duke is a 4-point favorite. Those games are in New Orleans at the Superdome. Shout out to Jensen Prince. She's down in New Orleans right now. Going to enjoy those games. I hate that my little sister gets to do all those cool things and I don't. So who you guys like before we go into where we stand in the standings? Who you guys like in which game?
Kansas and Duke.
Kansas and Duke. Who's your national champ?
Kansas.
Okay, I'm Kansas and Duke as well. Give me Kansas because that's who I have in my bracket. Except I had Kansas playing Arkansas.
Yeah, I got Kansas, Duke. I really want to do North Carolina because I think Brady Manic and North Carolina have been playing incredible. But
yeah,
I almost feel like it's a picture or a perfect ending for Coach K. I think he gets to the championship. They've been playing absolutely incredible. If he goes out on top, it'll probably be one of the greatest seasons or greatest ending to a career ever. So I got Duke beating Kansas.
Go ahead, Trev.
I'm backing that right there. Duke, you go off, beat your main rival in the Final Four in your last season. I mean, you can't script that. That's too good. So I'm going Duke all the way against Kansas.
Guys, fun fact real quick. You know they've never played in the NCAA tournament.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Ever. Being two Blood Bowl schools, this is the first time. Final Four, Coach K's last year. You couldn't ask for better.
Yeah.
If he loses to North Carolina, though, I'm going to cackle. Go ahead, Mark.
Y'all enjoy all picking the favorites, like a bunch of squares. Give me Nova over Kansas.
Ooh.
Duke beating Carolina. And then probably Duke. And then
Okay.
Duke. Paolo's
There you
too
go.
good.
Okay.
But
You just
Okay.
pick
But-
Nova.
hey, I did better than, you know.
I have to.
I
have
went
to
out
pick.
on a limb. you
I'm
know?
on the record as
Here's a
saying
limb.
Kansas as
I'm
my
going
national
there.
champion, so I have to pick Kansas.
Look, Kansas was
You
in
do
my
for sure.
championship
You
game.
do for sure.
Kansas was in my championship game against Gonzaga. They were going to lose to Gonzaga, so we all know how that went.
Try to tell you from the jump, Woo Pig.
Yeah, so I got to go Kansas.
Okay.
Also, Big 12. Big 12. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good for the conference.
I know Ryan's
Imagine
favorite.
caping for the Big 12.
Yeah, Ryan's favorite team, Baylor,
2022.
out early. It's a tough look. So in our bracket challenge for our listeners, Botso Tex. Don't know who you are. He's in first, or she, guys, or
We
she.
don't know. Yeah, we don't
Could
know.
be.
Or
Is-
anything else.
He, she, they, them.
Yeah, thank you,
Are in
Mark.
the
So
90s
inclusive.
97th percentile.
Absolutely.
They are on top of the bracket challenge. Their national champion is Duke. So they need Duke to hoist that trophy to stay on top. Out of the six of us, Trevor included, Patrick is last, and he is confirmed last. He will be writing our paper.
A loser again.
And he will
Poor
be.
guy.
Mark is so excited.
I was so nervous, guys.
No, it's confirmed. It's
Oh my
right,
God.
Matt?
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah, he capped out at his max points. So
Okay.
he's alone.
Well, then Pat's done.
Was like 420 or
Wonderful.
something like that.
Yeah.
410, yeah.
It wasn't any good. So Patrick is going to be writing our paper. Stay tuned for that. We'll give you
That'll
give
definitely
you-
be posted.
I'm
give you an
already
update on that.
excited.
By the way, if you win our bracket challenge, we're going to confirm it, guys. You have a spot on the show for a 10-minute segment, and we'll give you a $50 gift card to.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. $50 gift card. That's all you need to know. $50. Who says no to $50? You know what I mean?
Who says
50 big
no?
ones.
Yeah. Who says no?
But
to
come hang
$50?
out with the program, guys. We'd love to. Hey, Bato Tex, if you end up pulling it out, man, we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to see if you got a strategy here, or if you like OU. If you don't like OU, maybe you just joined a
Yeah.
random league.
Maybe you just saw it on Twitter and saw it was free to join, and you did.
We would love that. You're
Either
gonna
way.
get $50 gift card out of it.
I'd
So,
actually enjoy it more if he didn't know who we were.
yeah.
Yeah.
He reached
Random.
out.
It'd be a lot
he
of
was
fun.
like,
Yeah, just a random
No.
person. Yeah, I know. Amazing. Moving on real quick. Masters starts next week. A little golf talk for you. We're not going to go deep into this, but a little news that we wanted to share. John Rahm, the defending champ, he's plus 950. He's the odds-on favorite to win the Masters. What, Matt? Go ahead.
Not the defending champ.
What did he
he's
win
just-
last year?
He won one of the big tournaments. It's not the Masters. That was Hideki
Matsuyama.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one last year.
Thank you for correcting me. John Rahm
Gotcha.
is the favorite, though. He's plus 950. Colin Morikawa plus 1100. He's the second favorite. A guy who's on the list, though, who you can bet on, Tiger Woods. He
so
played in a
excited.
practice round at Augusta this week. He looked good, according to reports. It is not confirmed yet that he's playing, but it's beginning to look like it's very, very likely. Rory McIlroy went on the record as saying it would be phenomenal for golf if Tiger was able to play
Mhm.
next week during the Masters. I think he's gonna. I don't think there's a way that he misses it, especially with how good he looks. And he's played with Charlie, his son, and he looked good. He's walking like the 18, not card or anything. I think he's gonna play.
We hope so.
I love
It changes the sport. Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened in 2019 when he won the Masters. I literally cried. I mean, after everything that
Same.
he's been through, it was
Same.
such an iconic moment. And fun fact, he's the last back-to-back Masters winner. So no one has repeated twice in a row since he did it in 01 and 02. So I don't think he's going to win this weekend, but him being there in the Masters just makes it that much more better to watch.
That's right. All right, we're moving on. Ryan's must watch of the week. Pat's going to get a taste of Ryan's must watch, whether he wants it or not, in a little bit. But Ryan, give it to me what you got, man. You had an off week last week.
I did have an off week.
to wet your whistle, take a
I
breather.
did.
Now
I
we're
did.
back at it.
And guys, I'm coming back with a doozy.
Oh
So
boy,
I'm excited about this one though. This one's a little
Okay.
weird. It's kind of back to my weirdness, you know. Okay, so we're going to talk about Severance, which is a 9-episode series on Apple TV Plus. It stars Adam Scott, Patricia Arquette, John Turturro, Christopher Walken, heavy hitters, guys. Really, really great cast. And so the plot here, I'm going to read this exactly the way I wrote it because it can get a little confusing if we dive into it. So the plot of Severance is that it follows a man, Adam Scott's main character, who works for a large corporation named Lumen that requires certain employees to go through a procedure called severance. So as the name of the show, this is a voluntary procedure, but what the procedure is they implant a chip into your brain where anytime you cross the boundary of work, your brain flips into a new personality. So essentially, you're creating two separate people, one outside of work, one inside of work. And so you're basically severed from the outside world as you're working inside the building. And then when you leave, you come back to your actual self. So it's a little bit of a mind trip, but it is super interesting because it kind of plays on, and I'll get to this in my strengths, it plays on current corporate culture and current work culture and things along those lines. But the barrier to entry here is basically what I just said. Like, it's very confusing, and it can be, I think, a little alarming for some people when I read out a plot like that to be like, oh, okay, that sounds weird. I don't want to watch that, or that sounds too hard to understand. And you're not necessarily wrong, but there's a lot of good things that are going on in this show that I would highly recommend at least giving it a shot. And some of those things are, 6 out of the 9 episodes are directed by Ben Stiller, who I love. Ben Stiller, great comedian, great actor, does a really, really great job directing. He's directed a few movies already, but he's got a really good talent on picking up on certain shots and like kind of showing and telling the story non-verbally. So he's really great doing what he's doing through 6 of the 9 episodes. And one point that I forgot to say, 7 of the 9 episodes are out already. There's 2 left and they come out on Fridays. So the 8th episode will be, if you're listening to this on the 31st, it'll be out the 1st tomorrow. And then with the season finale coming the next week. Other strengths, it's a super interesting premise, and it kind of has an on the nose metaphor about large corporations and like work-life balance and like what we're dealing with, especially like after the pandemic and people having their work lives and their personal lives blending together more than ever. This kind of shows a different point of view on how do companies, maybe in this alternate world, how are certain companies, what lengths are they going to keep their secrets and get ahead of other corporations and other business by basically silencing their employees, but doing it in a way that is quote unquote voluntary, right? So there's very specific reasons that these people go through this severance procedure, and I'll let you guys figure that out as you are watching the show. But they're basically utilizing people's traumas or people's griefs to take advantage of that and basically make them into working slaves, essentially. Like that's what this show, and that's what this show questions, and that's what this show is asking its audience to think about as you're watching it. And I think that's a really interesting theme to play with, and one that is not really shown in movies and television right now, especially during this time. And then what else is good? Scott is incredible in this. He's playing essentially 2 different characters. So he has to be 2 completely different people intertwined throughout every single episode because you are following him and he is the primary protagonist. It's got a really great aesthetic to it. So you have the normal world outside, but when you get into the world of Lumen, it is very like 1970s retro. And I still don't understand why it's like that. That's kind of part of the mystery of the show, and kind of going into that really, really great mystery to this and suspense. Like, why are they severance? Like, why are they having people go through this procedure? What are they hiding? What are all the things that are happening in this corporation that are strange? It kind of starts to like peel back the onion layers of that on each episode, and you start figuring more and more out, but it does it in a really great way. So that is my much watched of the week. Severance, Apple TV Plus.
I'm in, Ryan, all the way. But real quick, I got to get to this. We have some breaking news. Matt, breaking news. Give me the sound.
Woo woo.
Thank you.
Different every time.
Breaking news: Bruce Arians retires as the head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles is the new head coach for Tom Brady. So yeah, that is something that just happened tonight.
Tom Brady to Miami?
No. No. But I guarantee you he got Bruce Arians out of there.
Yes.
I guarantee you he did.
He's moving to the front office is what I saw.
He is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fine. He got Bruce Arians out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But man, you get him out for Todd Bowles.
And not Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, that's a weird.
I like Todd Bowles.
I like Todd Bowles a lot. He's very, he's good, but Byron Leftwich has been, widely lauded as well.
This is completely off topic. But did you guys see the thing about Baker might be going to the Bucks? Like that was like a rumor that was going around. An understudy of Tom Brady.
It's the only place I can see him feasibly go be a backup because he brings too much,
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, and you need him to be a backup somewhere where he's not going to have any risk of starting because as soon as stuff gets bad, people are going to want Baker in, and that's just not a situation that's going to work for anybody. So yeah, Tampa Bay really is the only place that makes a lot of sense, or even LA.
Stafford just signed back. Yeah,
like
Stafford.
like LA makes sense. But I don't know.
We'll see.
So yeah, that's what's happening in the NFL. Kind of crazy. The NFL is king, stays king, man. just at 8:05 on a Wednesday evening, and Tom Brady has a new head coach who's going to try to win a Super Bowl with.
List.
Yeah, sorry, Trevor, you're gonna have to add that.
Breaking news.
All right, now time for our PGP MVPs of the week. This is where we tell you who had the best week. In our eyes, we'll start with Patrick since he's not here. Patrick told me to read his off. The Canada men's national soccer team, they won the CONCACAF group and qualified for the World Cup. They did so without Davies playing for multiple games. I don't know who Davies is, but Pat or Gan, do you know who that is?
It's probably one of the players, probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, no shit. It's one of the players.
How unhelpful could you be? Just say no.
Just God. All right. That's who Patrick's PGP MVP of the week is. It is the Canada men's national soccer team. We'll go ahead and go to Mark now.
Yeah, so my pick this week is Jalen Green, rookie for the Houston Rockets. He is likely to be the rookie of the month this month in the NBA. And really since the All-Star game and since the acquisition of Dennis Schroeder, Jalen has been playing just really well. He's really come into his own. His footwork is advanced for a kid his age, and his mid-range game, I'm going to go here. It's young Kobe. Okay.
Wow.
It's young Kobe. The footwork is unnaturally he's gifted there. And he's long, he's rangy, he can score. He was obviously in the dunk contest this year and did terrible, but he's a great in-game dunker. That's the kind of thing that he does.
That's what matters.
And give him a few years. This is a 25-point a game scorer, no doubt about it. In the 18 games since the All-Star break, he's averaging 19.7 points. So he's a 20-point scorer just since the All-Star break. So, bright future for the kid. And I want to highlight it because if you're not watching this terrible Rockets team, and you shouldn't be, you should still Google some Jalen Green highlights sometime.
Nice. Gan?
Yeah, I had two. It was hard to go back and forth. Also, have to pick on Patrick.
This is never.
Anyways, yeah, thank you.
You have one job.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to Patrick. Of course, he doesn't pick the U.S. men's national team, who's about to play right now, who can qualify tonight against Costa Rica. It's just such a Pat thing to do.
Do you have three? Are you saying
no?
three?
I was just trying to hit on.
He kind of was doing three.
He was doing three.
He kind of was.
Now I'll just give my one. I'll go with St. Peter's in the NCAA or the tournament. I mean, they're the first 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight. They beat Kentucky in the first round, which, is obviously a huge win over a blue blood school that a lot of people picked to be in the championship. So shout out to St. Peter's. They got rocked by North Carolina by 20, but
made a ton of money.
Made a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
No one expected them to get there. So it's fun to see an underdog make a Cinderella run like that. So
Perfect. Ryan?
All right. So mine might be controversial.
Oh, boy.
I'm going with Amy Schumer. And the reason that I'm doing this is because she co-hosted the Oscars on Sunday. The Oscars that is now titled like the Slap Heard Round the World Oscars, with Will Smith and Chris Rock. But I thought she was very funny during the telecast. And after the slap happened, she kind of like deflated the room in a really funny way that I thought was hilarious. So I thought she did a really good job. And I also want to give her like credit for, she has a new show on Hulu called Life and Beth. And it is very good. 8 episodes, 30-minute each, like very easy watch. And she's funny in it. So I know there's been a lot of years where she's kind of, gotten annoying and people don't really love her, but I think she's kind of making a comeback right now, and she's pretty funny. So that's my MVP.
Okay, good. Who did she co-host with? I thought she was the host.
Wanda Sykes and
boy,
Regina Hall.
Regina Hall. Yeah.
Oh boy. Really?
Did y'all like how Ryan snuck in a second
the second must watch. Yeah.
Second must watch.
He's making up for last week.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Strategic.
I am making up for last week.
Yeah. I just don't care about the Oscars. I just don't. I just don't. Okay. My MVP of the week is going to be Eric Musselman, head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks men's basketball team. Lost in the Elite Eight, had a really good run with that team, a team full of transfers, because that's kind of the way that he had to build it as he got to Arkansas. He brought in a bunch of transfers, but what he has done with this 2022 recruiting class is nothing short of miraculous. He's already had 2 commits from 5-star McDonald's All-Americans. He got a third one committed during the McDonald's All-American All-Star game. That is 3 5-stars. He's the second ranked recruiting class in the country behind Duke, 2 points behind Duke. By the way, that recruiting ranking 69.69. I see you must bust.
Nice.
Amazing. But he took a picture.
Out of here.
No, I'm serious.
The simulation's broken.
I know. He took a picture and posted it to his Twitter. It's him sitting in a McDonald's with 3 Egg McMuffin sandwiches sitting in front of him, basically saying we have 3 McDonald's All-Americans now. And he can't, say the players until they sign. So, of course he can't say anything about it. 2 of them have signed. The one who committed as a point guard, he's the number 1 point guard in the country from Texas. He was down to Oklahoma State and Gonzaga. He chose Arkansas. So shout out to Eric Musselman. That's my MVP of the week. Trevor, what you got?
All right, I got Brady Manic, the former Sooner. He is on a tear this year. Honestly, he's probably the Carolina Tar Heels' best player. Look at this right here. He has, I think it's like averaging 21.5 points and 8 rebounds this tournament. That's insane. Almost a double-double so far. And he's nearly 50% beyond the arc, and he's shooting over 50%, almost, I think it's like 57.7% from the floor. So that's just insane for anybody. And the only reason why that Baylor even had a shot is because he had a flagrant foul against him and tossed him out of the game, allowing the Baylor Bears to come back for a hot, quick minute. But look for a really big game against Duke. He's already, I think it's like he had 21 and 20 points respectively in the games against Duke this year. So he's no stranger to doing great things against the Blue Devils. So it's going to be a tough guy to contain for Krzyzewski, his last game.
Beautiful. Shout out to Trevor joining last second for the show. Did a great job this week. He's not just a graphics guy, folks. Just not just a graphics guy. Also, real quick before we get out of here, we're going to have another punishment. We're going to draft a team for the Masters. Each guy is going to draft 4 golfers. We don't know what that punishment is going to be yet. We will announce it next show, and that's a quick thing. Like, we will have the loser for 2 pods from now. so we will know who the loser
That's right.
is.
Mark,
let us know.
are we taking bets on if Patrick comes in last again?
Oh, come on, man.
Oh,
I wouldn't jinx yourself. Don't
He
jinx
could.
yourself.
I can't really lean
What are
on
the
any
odds
golf
there?
knowledge
What are the odds
here, so I
Yeah.
can't. I can't do this one.
I love you, Pat.
So send us in your suggestions for our punishment. We'll come up with punishments. Unfortunately, we won't have time to do a Twitter poll. So we're going to discuss in our group text. I may post a poll midweek though, over the
Post a
weekend or
poll, why
something.
not?
Yeah, we can figure it out. But as always, if you have suggestions, be sure to tweet it at us at Program Guys with a Z. Find us on Instagram at Program Guys with a Z. Like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it, guys. All the interaction we get on our YouTube channel, we really, truly appreciate it. Subscribe to that as well. One more time, big thank you to Trevor for joining us this week. Who wants to push it this week since Pat's not here? I think Trevor has to.
Yeah,
I think Trevor
it's
has
Trevor.
to. Okay. That's going to do it for
All right.
us. We appreciate you
I'll
tuning
do
in.
it. Yeah, I got it.
You can't lag. You can't lag. Are you lagging? Are you good? Oh no. Oh no. Trevor, can you hear us? Oh, no.
We just lost him.
Trevor.
Is it lagging on right now?
Oh, it is.
So, yeah,
Oh,
it
It's
is.
lagging
sir.
bad.
It is. Oh, Trevor's
Yeah, I can
lagging.
hear you.
I know it's bad. All right. Well, here,
Just
Trevor,
end
I'm
it
going to do
whenever
it.
Trevor says push it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, Trevor. And you just, as soon as you hear me, you just say it. Okay. And then we'll end it that way. Thank you as always for joining us for the Program Guys podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media. Thank you, Ryan, Matt, Mark, Pat, when you're out there. And of course, Trevor, as always. Trevor, take us out.
Push it, baby.
There we go. All right, let's go.
He can't even get it. All right,
Keep
Mark, take
pushing
us,
it, baby.
Mark, take us out.
There it is. There it is.
Okay, he did it. All right, keep pushing, everybody.